I don't know, y'all. I'm getting a little bit scared now. Thank you to our $5 patrons, Red Bull 4765, Minute Lord, and Sean. Another thank you to our $3 members, O'Connor Plays and Red Bull 4765. A very big thank you to our $10 patron, Robbie Uchia. Another very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. A very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, beyond this breakdown slash discussion and analysis of spoilers, chapter 222 of JJK spoilers. You happen to click on the video because you always click on the videos. Bless your heart. But if you don't want spoilers, run away. And I mean, return after the chapter comes out, maybe. But like, there'll be a review out then, regardless. So, spoilers for chapter 222 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Please leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below. It's over as low as $1 a month to get links to videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the spoiler discussion. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here, and here we are to do a spoiler discussion for chapter 222 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is known as, I actually have no idea. At least like the raws I'm looking at, they don't come with the chapter title. Oh, Omen. There we go. Chapter 202, Omen. So there's that. And y'all, like, I have so many, and once again, this is literally only the spoiler, so I can't imagine how I'm gonna feel once that chapter actually comes out. Once the chapter really comes out, who knows how your boy's gonna be reacting. But let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. So, hi, everybody. I got it on me. I keep it on me at all times, as you know. I'm worried. All right. Now here's the thing, right? I know some people are gonna immediately take that. Oh, you're worried that Gojo's gonna lose. No, I'm not actually. Shockingly enough, though, I'll admit, we'll go through the chapter piece by piece. Let's just say I'm worried. First things first. Obviously, I'm going to be using non-raw images. This space will be filled up by whatever creative thing editing me feels like filling it up with. But like, I'm not gonna use the raw images because I like having a channel. Fun fact, we recently hit over 1,100 videos. God, you willikers, man. But like, we've hit just over that. Can't lose all that, so I'm not going to do that. That's probably why the thumbnail something extra and ultra. I already have an idea for that. I'm not sure what editing me is going to actually do with it, but editing me has an idea for the thumbnail. But let's take it piece by piece. First things first, Sukuna is 20 finger. I guess that's the whole, there's interesting parts about it, but the main thing we're supposed to get from the start of this chapter is that we do now have 20 finger Sukuna, or at least the equivalent of what should be 20 finger Sukuna. Why the equivalent? Because 4 fingers were left that Uraume and I assume Kenjaku discovered, but they don't have the 5th one. The last one is likely being kept by Gojo. As Sukuna brings up, hey, it's most likely that, you know, that Satoru dude, he didn't actually want Yuji to be executed. Like, he's a nice guy. There's no way he would actually want Yuji to be executed. So the reason you probably didn't find it is because Gojo either A, keeps it on his person. I hope it's not keeps it on his person. I hope he just sealed it away somewhere. Or B, he sealed it away somewhere. Mainly because the main condition for Yuji's execution to actually go through was him to consume all 20 fingers. Like, every last one of them. So essentially what Gojo was planning to do was probably have Yuji eat all 19, have him contain Sukuna for the rest of his days, and then, like, I mean, presumably Gojo would have perished first. He's just older. He's what? He's 28, so he's like 13 years older than Itadori and crew. So what probably would have happened is Gojo's initial plan, before obviously Kenjaku, was the idea that, oh, okay, I'll just hold the finger. When I'm about to pass away or whatever, I'll just call over somebody or have it written in my will or something like that. Hey, the final finger for Sukuna is at so-and-so place, at so-and-so time. It will appear. You can give that to Yuji whenever he wants. If he wants to eat it now, complete the contract, whatever. If he wants to eat it on his final day, he can eat it on his final day, regardless. And I think that's nice. I do like that character work for Gojo. Like, obviously, a lot of people, there's definitely, I would say Gojo's character is kind of misinterpreted a lot, but here's the thing, I'm not saying I'm interpreting it correctly. Just from what I understand of Gojo's character, I see what I believe is a lot of misinterpretation. A lot of people think Gojo's heartless, Gojo's cruel, he's just and admittedly, when I'm talking about him in a versus battle sense, I boil him down to, oh, he's the strongest. Yeah, that's how I do it. But even with that, Gojo's a much more complex character than that. He still cares. That's why the whole dynamic between him and Sukuna is interesting, because they're both two different types of honored ones. One honored one in Sukuna, the ancient one, threw everything away. He grabbed it, and he did that bad boy out. Like, he does not care about anything or anyone. That's why he straight weaved Urume last chapter. Didn't bother getting them any help. Didn't try to catch him or anything like that. No, straight weed. They do not care about anything. That's the type of honor one Sukuna is. But Gojo's the kind of honor one that still cares. He's still connected to the world. Like, I feel like there's no real... Why are you? You aren't even doing anything. See, now you gotta go down there. You gotta go down there because you're misbehaving already. I just opened, you just turned you on, and now you're immediately misbehaving. How dare you? How dare you? But regardless, Gojo's honored one thing is the idea of still being above everybody, but not wanting to leave everyone behind. Gojo wants to raise other people to his level and even beyond it. That's the whole dichotomy between the two. And this is one of the many ways he wants to raise or protect the weak. Meanwhile, Sukuna, as he said, his views on the weak are that they're just meant to be trampled over, or to live their lives fighting to not be trampled over or suffer. He doesn't really care what they do because he's above all that. But Gojo cares about the little guy because he was kind of once a little guy, for one, and two, he still loves the world. So that's why their dynamic is super interesting to me, and why I'm super invested to see the fight, and super invested to see who wins. Because sure, I believe that everything that Gege has meticulously built in the narrative suggests that Gojo is going to win, but maybe lose or get snuck by Kenjaku after the fact. We'll talk about that more in a little bit, considering what Kenjaku's revealed to do later in this chapter. But with that being the case, I think it's highly likely that Gojo is going to beat Sukuna because that's the kind of narrative that Gege wants to push. The idea that, yeah, there are many types of honored ones, the one who discard and the one who keep, but the one who keep should be the better one. Because essentially, like, I'm not saying that Gege's, like, believes this, but once again, just reading it on a narrative level, if Gojo loses, you're essentially saying Sukuna's right. It's as much as a battle of ideologies as it is a battle of strength. So I don't think Gege is going to come out and be like, yeah, you know how you really become strong? You know how you really become someone worth being called the honored one? You be selfish and rude and you cut off everything beneath you and you trample over the weak. I don't think Gege wants to peddle that narrative. I think the continued existence of characters like Gojo, Itadori, stuff like that, I think that's kind of proof that you need to get it out the mud. You can't just disregard the mud. You gotta keep one foot in there in order to really be the peak. But who knows? Who knows? That's the thing. And what I do like, it's something that everyone was kind of predicting. Are you going to stop screaming now? Are you going to stop screaming now? Are you going to behave? Are you going to behave? You better behave. You better behave. All right? You better behave. But what happened is that the mummy that we saw a couple chapters back is what is being allowed as the equivalent, essentially. It's what Sukuna's consuming instead to get the last 20th finger, meaning that Sukuna technically could have been beyond his prime. Notably, a lot of people already believe that. Like, some people are in the camp that based on him one-shotting Ryu, 15 finger is based on the fact that his fingers are said to get stronger over time. 15 finger was already stronger than prime past 20 finger Sukuna. I can kind of see that because, like, highest output in the Killing Games, but somehow gets one-shot. Like, you know, I see it, but I'm not entirely rocking with it. But now this actually implies that Sukuna could have became like 21 finger Sukuna, or he could become 21 finger Sukuna in this final battle or something like that. He does have an excess of strength that he could use, and his body still contains some of that cursed energy. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But I suppose it was properly mummified. It probably was prepared by Urume themselves, so it makes sense that the body would still, like, have lingering effects. There's something that is strange. Like, let me see. Sukuna, Urume. No, that's just the body. Yeah. The one thing I am wondering is, why is he not changing? I mean, why not change your face now? Like, there's no point now. At least in my mind, there's no point. Because he should still have the technique. He should still have the 10 shadows technique. Which is, I agree with everyone else. It's the main thing. Like, if Sukuna wins, it's not going to be because of Cleave or Dismantle. I don't think so. I think Cleave and Dismantle, one, won't work on Infinity. And two, I'm not entirely sure if open barrier domains or barrierless. I know it's open barrier. I've heard repeatedly that barrierless is just a mistranslation. It's just open barrier. So I'm not sure if, like, due to the way that the open barriers are structured, I'm not sure if it's even going to shut down Gojo's curse technique. So Malevolent Shrine may be worthless. He really needs Maharaga. Like, that's it. Or whatever the final summon is. Because no, we still haven't figured out what that is. We have yet to see what the final summon of the Ten Shadows technique is. There still is another one that we just don't learn about yet. So, unless the only thing I could see, right? A big thing I could see Gege building to is either the totality of all the Ten Shadows techniques once they're all slain by Gojo. Once he, like, say he purples Rabbit Escape, he purples Maharaga, he purples Piercing Bull, he purples everybody. Let's just purple nurple everybody. Twist, grab them and just rip them out. Like, straight every single person. Then the final Ten Shadows technique is the culmination of all of them. All their abilities fused into one. So you're going to get a flying, curse technique adapting, clawed, massive, multi-size, like something like that. I can see that being the case because I don't really see Shrine doing it. Even the fire technique, I don't really see the fire technique doing it. So if Sukuna's going to win, it's going to be because of that last unknown factor. We pretty much know almost everything about it. Then again, no, we don't. We don't know much. We don't know the full capabilities of either of these fighters. We still don't know Gojo's maximum. Hollow Purple is not his maximum. It's his Hollow Purple lapse, but it's not his maximum. We know that. Purple's just a thing he can do by overlapping red and blue. That's not actually his maximum. So we have no idea what Gojo's maximum is. And we, once again, have not seen him go all out yet. So we don't even know if he has any other extra abilities that regard manipulating space and stuff like that. And obviously, Sukuna still has the whole flame technique that hasn't been fully explained. We haven't probably seen the full limits of Cleaver Dismantle, and once again, the final bit of the Ten Shadows technique. This battle is going to be very interesting if Gege takes their time. And we'll talk about that in a bit, because there's one main thing that I'm going to hop into that has me worried, right? That really has me worried. But that's it. Sukuna's now 20 finger. He has the capability, if Gojo keeps the finger on his person, or he can somehow summon the finger to himself, he has the capability to become 21 finger Sukuna. That could happen. However, he has yet to change his face, and that doesn't change by the end of the chapter, which is what has me confused. Maybe he's keeping Megumi's face just to throw off Gojo even more. Maybe it's just that, hoping that Gojo will hold back just a little bit, or make the mistake of being a human being and recognizing his son of 12 years and be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I can execute Brody like that. Like, if anything, that's the only reason I could see keeping Megumi's face. And obviously, like, Ludo narrative dissonance, like, taking it out of the narrative. Keeping Megumi's face is more interesting and parallels the dynamic of that panel from forever ago of Megumi, the Ten Shadows technique user, versus Gojo, the Limitless user. So that parallel, it is there. It is definitively set up there. So that's the other outside of narrative reason. But considering his original body should just verbatim be stronger. Having 4 arms is always better than having 2. Like, there's no contest about that. So hopefully he switches. I do want to actually see 20 finger Sukuna fight. Like the full original 4-armed one. It's cool seeing Maguna fight. I like Maguna's design a lot. But 20 finger. I want to see 20 finger. I've seen Maguna fight before. I've seen Sukuna fight before. Yukuna? I suppose Yukuna. I've seen Yukuna fight before. I want to see the big, beefy boy fight. I want to see it. Because that seems way more interesting to me. I don't know. I think the design is so much cooler. It'd be so cool to see him use, like, multiple different techniques. Someone, like, use 10 Shadows with one, use Cleaving Dismantle with the top hands. I think it could be so interesting. I hope we get to see that. However, we do get to see that Kenjaku, he's checking up with his Kogani, being like, "Ayo, Kogani, it's been a hot minute, bruh. How many people have perished from CT removal?" And Kogani's like, "I bet you got 61 people that got." And that's it. So 61 people have been removed, but that doesn't mean that the colonies are empty. Especially considering major colony cleaners like Kashimo are nowhere to be found. Still nowhere to be found in the chapter. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's concerning to me. Because I'm worried. I'm worried. Hopefully, I'm hoping 223 opens up with Kashimo versus Sukuna. Like, I know that's crazy because where this chapter ends off, it seems to be building just big final battle time. But I do want Kashimo versus Sukuna. I hope he didn't just forget. Or Gege. I hope Gege isn't just skipping that. Because Gege has me worried. I've been saying I'm worried throughout this entire period, but Gege has me worried. But the thing is, we see Kenjaku, he kind of starts, I don't know, once again, going by the translations or, like, general idea of what the guy's saying. Apparently, Kenjaku is talking about philosophy and talking about like lives and dreams and revolution and evolution and stuff like that. And that makes sense. We got to remember, at the core of all things, kenjaku is Xehanort from Birth by Sleep. Think I'm wrong? What is now I gotta remember, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I know I have Kingdom Hearts fans in my comments, but I feel like the overlap between JJK and Kingdom Hearts is not as deep as I would like it to be. But you are screaming again, so I'm gonna close you. I don't know why you always do this. You always just make noise. But remember what Xehanort's motivation Birth by Sleep was. He was a scientist. Experiments were what he did. Yes. I know that's vexing. That's a vexing line. But still, that's how it is. Xehanort really, at least in the reason I find Xehanort so interesting Birth by Sleep, is that he didn't want the Keyblade or Kingdom Hearts for any like real particular purpose. He was like, that's infinite knowledge and power. I would kind of like to have that. Like, I would presume that most people, if they were offered infinite knowledge and power, would also kind of want that. So it's kind of just for the scientific purposes. And that's what Kenjaku's here for. He's kind of just here for the meme. He's kind of just here because he wants to see what it'd be like. He wants to see it do what it do. And likely another hidden motivation. Kind of like how Xehanort was revealed to have this super crazy, totally not yanked out of Nomura's booty cheeks motivation for Xehanort in the final saga. I'm assuming Kenjaku has a final trick up his sleeve. Because once again, there's something I mentioned when I was talking, I forget which video I mentioned it in, but I do not see Sukuna and Kenjaku coexisting. Ever. I don't see the two ever being fully comfortable with the other's existence. Because you just wouldn't be. Like, can you imagine if you were the pinnacle of everything, but you had one person who one way or another could match you, or could do something to you, or could have something set up? I don't think they would like that. If I had to take a guess at how JJK is going to like wrap up, I'm going to assume, I'm just gonna throw this out there, I think Gojo is going to defeat Sukuna barely. There's going to be an extreme diff battle. And then Kenjaku is going to drop from the heavens and pop domain or something. Do something mystical, magical on an extremely fatigued Gojo. Even though Gojo shouldn't be able to get tired because, infinite curse energy, stuff like that. An extremely fatigued and extremely battle-worn Gojo. Take Gojo out. And that will be the final condition for creating the merger. And then everything merges. Everything happens. And then Kenjaku twists the brain out, pops it off, drops it in the gigantic curse using curse spirit manipulation or something like that. Or he just, once again, maybe he just stays in Geto's body and uses his curse spirit manipulation to override and take control of this massive curse. And then that's the final battle, the real final battle. It would still end up with Gojo dying, which is the one thing I'm not all too sure about. But considering Gege doesn't like Gojo, something that's been repeated numerous times, and this wouldn't necessarily not make Gojo the strongest because he beat the second strongest, I think that would be the way to go. And that would be the way to give like the real final villain a battle against the real main character. Because the big thing that a lot of people are talking about is like, oh, well, Gojo's not the main character, so he can't beat Sukuna. He's the main villain. Sukuna isn't. Like, I don't think, at least personally, I'll make a whole video discussing that, but I don't think Sukuna's the final villain. I think Kenjaku is the final villain. Kenjaku's the reason that the plot happened. Literally everything, the plot happens as it is because of Kenjaku. Without Kenjaku, there is no Sukuna in the modern day. He never incarnates. I don't think he ever incarnates because it was stated at the beginning of the series that everyone would just die. Like, unless Megami ate a Sukuna finger for one reason or another, Sukuna never incarnates. And even then, if Megami eats a Sukuna finger, he was a cage too, so it wouldn't even work. So Sukuna would never be incarnated. Sukuna is an aspect of Kenjaku's plan. He's a major villain, but I don't think he's the final villain. I don't think he's the big bad of JJK. I think Kenjaku is. So I'm assuming this final fight is going to have something to do with Kenjaku. So him philosophizing about dreams, realities, revolution, and uprising. I think he's going to revolt against the King of Curses and revolt against the Honored One and get exactly what he's desired for all these years. The true culmination of knowledge and curse energy. Something along those lines. That's why I see him theorizing and just yapping and yammering. However, with that being the case, are you quieted down now? Are you gonna obey? Are you gonna not scream anymore? Please do, for the sake of my sanity. Please, if you could help me out. But let's see. Then after that, we see that Gojo's getting a medical checkup from Shoko, making sure that everything actually is okay. Because sure, Gojo came out fine. He came out looking better than ever, if you have to ask me. That man was looking good. He was looking fine. But regardless, they're checking up on him, and they're catching Gojo up on things. And I do get it. I completely understand. This is well within Gojo's character. Him showing any emotion at all to something that he has known will happen is kind of just in their line of work. Yeah, I know. So him having a pretty mellow reaction to Nanami's passing and just being like, oh, well, I didn't expect Nanami to go out like that at all. I thought he would be a guy to survive by any means. Yeah, I guess it works. I don't know. It's like, that's the thing about JJK right now. And at the pace it's going and what it's doing, it's hitting every beat. It's hitting every beat, and it's not even contradicting itself. Everything that's happening has been set up. Everything that's happening is well established. Everything that's happening makes sense. But it feels a bit hollow. I don't know, like, especially considering what happens later on in this chapter. It feels like Gege, I think he's just sick and tired of doing it. Like I love JJK. It is definitively my favorite new gen. Like, I think no matter what, unless the ending unless the ending like falls, like, Dr. Stone fell flat on its face for me. I've yet to make a video talking about it because I know there's like nothing positive I can really, I mean, there are things positive I can say about it. There are a lot of positive things I can say about Dr. Stone's ending, but like, Dr. Stone fell flat on its face, just straight bonked his head open, and I absolutely, that dropped the manga off by like 3 points for me. I really didn't like the ending of Dr. Stone, and I'm afraid JJK is heading towards that, mainly because of the pace that Gege is moving at. It feels like, I'd say ever since right after the Yuki, Kenjaku, and Choso fight, Gege is just turned on the gas, put his pedal to the metal, and just hasn't released. Because the fact that we're glazing over stuff like this, and sure, there's definitely still setup going on. Like, what's his name? Ito, that's it. The guy with the auspicious beast summoning. He comes in, and he apparently has something to say about Nanami. But we cut away from that. So there are still things being set up. Don't get me wrong. There's still things happening, right? Like, it's not like any of this is bad. It feels empty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's something, I forget who said it. There was someone, obviously, being a content creator, I listen to a lot of other people's content. I like reacting to other people's content and stuff like that. I think it was on TikTok. Follow me over there if you want to. Link is in the description. Gotta plug the TikTok every once in a while. I rarely do that. I really plug any of my other socials. I have like 3 other socials, including a Twitter, but I never use the Twitter. So like, that's whatever. But and you're doing nothing but sitting there open. You have one app open and one tab open. Why do you always scream? And then at times, I'll be screen recording with you. I'm not even screen recording with you right now. Why do you always scream at the most inopportune time? But regardless, the big thing that they mentioned was that it feels like in earlier JJK, in Shibuya, in pre-Shibuya, in Gojo's past, stuff like that, it feels like there would be time that we could take with the characters and really feel that. Like, how the pain they're going through and actually like feel it sit with them. And the biggest example I can think of that is when Nobara gets clapped right in front of Yuji. We have like a whole section of him breaking down, him crying, him feeling that pain, feeling that agony. He has a whole discussion with Toto. Toto has to res him so they can have the best fight in the entire series. Like that's what needs to happen. We have time sitting and settling with that. But for a reaction to the character loss that I've been waiting for since Gojo got sealed. Obviously, the biggest thing we've all been waiting for is seeing how Gojo's going to react to the world and the situation around him. It's kind of meh. Like, and don't get me wrong, there is stuff later on in the chapter. I keep saying there's stuff later on in the chapter. I'm talking way too long for this just to be a spoiler discussion. But I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts right now. I've been reflecting a lot on JJK as it's been riding full steam ahead towards its finality. So, like, I'm gonna be talking with y'all. We're gonna be chatting. We're gonna be having a chat. And the big thing about this chat is the idea that it feels like Gege's doing the bare minimum for the characters now. Like, we are just steaming ahead. Like, the fact that barely any reaction to Nanami. Nobara doesn't even get a mention. A lot of people are using that as Nobara copium. She still hasn't appeared. And sure, I'm 100% down with the idea that Sukuna is going to lose because Nobara uses resonance on Yuji, who's now technically kind of Sukuna, and then bada bing, bada boom, 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 Yuji perishes, Sukuna perishes, Megami saved. I'm 100% down with that. But, like, the fact that she still hasn't been mentioned in how long? Like, the last major mention she got was in that Hana chapter, and we see what happened to Hana. There's some... Three videos. I'm telling y'all this. 3 videos that are, I've been sitting and plotting and trying to make. Yuki, and how I feel about how she was done. Angel, and how I feel about how she was done. And Yorozu / Sabuki, and how I feel about she was done. I got things to say about that. And as you can likely tell by my tone, it ain't all positive. There's some positive things. There are definitely positive things I do like about each of those characters. But it ain't all positive. But with that being the case, I don't know. Like, it's so underwhelming. It's so underwhelming seeing the reaction that Gojo had. A reaction we've been waiting 3 years for. This is 3 years. Nanami didn't. So, like, maybe 2 years. A reaction we've been waiting 2 years for. Gojo's reaction to Nanami. Gojo's reaction to Obara. Gojo's reaction to the world itself. We don't get any of that. And I get it's because Gojo's matured. He's a much more adult character now. He's not teen Gojo anymore. He's not going to have these massive emotional reactions. Most adults won't. Especially in public. Like, notably, I know many people my age, older, even some younger, that just won't react to, like, sad or traumatic news when you're with them. But they'll come to you later and be like, oh yeah, bro, I broke down. I got home and that trauma hit and I broke down. And like, you have moments like that. And the moment I'm referring to later on in the chapter, I might as well talk about it, is when Gojo, he's so locked in on the stakes of the battle that the students, his kids, can't even reach him. Like, his technique, the infinity, is so overwhelming. His emotions are so riding high that, like, they can't, like, give him a pat on the back or anything like that because it's just, the barrier's so thick around him. And it's just, like, a natural response to his emotions. That's good. I do like that. That's subtle character writing. But, like, hey, you can be overt, bro. Like, you don't have to be subtle with everything. I really like what that does for Gojo's character and shows that he is feeling things. Darn it, man. I wish there was just a teeny tiny bit more sauce to it, bro. Just a little bit more sauce. But regardless, another thing, May is betting on the culling games. May. At the culling game, she's betting on Gojo versus Sukuna. Neat enough, nice. I mean, and this is nice detail, decent world building. I don't know. I've never necessarily been invested or hyped behind May's character, so I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, and it's cool. It's neat and all. And then, hold on. See, I'm literally gonna open it, look at the page, and close it again so it doesn't keep screaming. Because the fact that it keeps screaming immediately, like, y'all, let me tell you, okay, I have 2 other apps open. Let me close every last one of them. Okay, that's 3. That's 3 other apps. Boom, and I have 2 other tabs open. Boom, boom, and another one. Boom. This is it. You better not scream. We're trying to keep you open. But let's see. And it's interesting. One thing about that world building, though, I think May, by, like, doing this, she's thinking that they're gonna win. Like, that's a subtle thing from May, because she wouldn't be doing this if she felt like, oh, her life was genuinely in danger. No, I think she realized that, oh yeah, the heroes are gonna win, so I'm just gonna bet, make my money, and keep living on. Like, this is gonna be another Tuesday of chasing the bag, and like, I can respect that from May. I can definitely respect that. But we do get to see that Yuji is currently sparring with Kusakabe, and Yuji slams poor Kusakabe with what seems like a judo throw, and Itadori is essentially telling himself, get locked in. So I'm guessing this is meant to be our training for Yuji, I guess. Like, I wish we actually got a proper training arc, because I guess maybe he's attacking the soul with Kusakabe, or he's learning simple domain or something like that, because that's one of Yuji's biggest weaknesses right now. Like, even though he's super duper strong, super powerful, and super fast and all that, the big main issue is that, like, bro still gets nagged by domains. Like, he's durable, but he ain't that durable. He's still gonna get done dirty by a domain. And we know Kusakabe is the creator of the simple domain and stuff like that. So maybe Kusakabe is trying to teach him how to, like, infuse simple domain properties, which we know negate curse techniques, simple domain properties into his general attack, so he can be useful in battles against top tiers like Kenjaku, against battles like top tiers like Urume or Sukuna. Well, not Sukuna. Maybe not Sukuna, but stuff like that. I could see that being the main reason he's trading with Kusakabe in particular. However, we do get to see that Yuta and Inumaki are interacting, and I think, according to the guy talking, the guy I got the Ross from, apparently this is Yuta telling Inumaki about how he's tried to take the load off of Yuji's shoulders by not telling him the reason Inumaki's missing an arm is because of Sukuna. I'm assuming Yuji already knows that. It's not rocket science. I don't think, I feel like Yuji can put 2 and 2 together. It's nice that Yuta didn't tell him explicitly, but, like, Yuji's not that stupid. so that's just a nice little moment between Yuta and Inumaki. Because, these 2 characters, like, we have so many things that could be done. But we immediately fast forward. We fast forward to December 24th. And this is where I'm saying Gege's rushing it. I get it. You want to end by the end of this year. But, like, dude, it's May. Let's say he takes... And I remember in my can JJK end this year video, I was like, oh, no. There's no way. There's no way at all. But, dude, say you didn't post for half of the remaining year. We're in May now. That leaves, what, 7 months? Okay, maybe he does need all the time he can get. But still, no training arc, no nothing. Like, I'm not even sure how I'm meant to feel about this. Like, why set up a time skip if you aren't even really going to use it? Like, what, half the chapters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 chapters, 11 pages was used to take up this whole 1 month time skip. Dude, you could have had people training. You could have had them recruiting. You could have shown, like, something. Give me something, y'all. Like, really? We're just going to immediately, like, why set up the one time skip then? Like, I get it. It's for the run back for December 24th. But, like, dude, you had a whole month. It could have just been 2 chapters. It could have just been 2 chapters of them training. Because I still don't know how everyone's going to be relevant in this final battle. Especially considering what Kenjaku reveals. Kenjaku shows up and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, deuces. And Uromi's like, what? And Kenjaku's like, I'm not going to stay here. I ain't trying to get clapped. Like, I'm not trying to get you straight purple. That ain't going to be me. I'm going to go and, like, complete the condition for ending the culling game real quick. AKA, I'm just going to go slaughter everybody else while y'all deal with them. Deuces, dog. The only way that they can beat you is if Gojo does most of the work. And the only way I can beat Gojo is if you do most of the work. So I'm not going to stay here. And then he runs off. So Kenjaku just leaves. So Kenjaku isn't even... Like, I thought the crew that they notably do set up, we see Maki, Yuta, and Hikari. I thought they were going to be the ones to fight Kenjaku with Yuji supporting or something like that. But no, Kenny just leaves. Kenny just dips. So hopefully they catch him. Hopefully they can find Brody. It's not like he's going to be able to suppress himself all too well. They should be able to find him. And they can always locate what colony he's in by just looking up Sugaru. But still, Brody, what? Like, and you're still screaming. But, like, one tab and one app running, still screaming. But with that being the case, like, you're removing Kenjaku. Like, once again, I do believe that has to do with Kenjaku's big old giga brain, girth brain master plan. Like, I think it's all going according to calculations. But, like, I don't know. It just seems weird. It seems super weird. But then we cut to this really wholesome moment where all the students are trying to figure out what they can say to hype up Gojo, right? Because obviously the stakes are massive. Like, he's going into the battle of his life against the King of Curses, who also happens to be possessing his only son. Like, that's not even really his son. So, like, obviously Gojo's going to be going through it. And they're all trying to figure out a way to cheer him up. Notably, Panda isn't any bigger. I thought maybe over the month time skip he would grow back to original size or something like that, considering how much he grew from the Kashimo fight. But I guess not. So he's going to be worthless. And then, yeah, they all come together. They go hype Gojo up a little bit. They all give him smacks on the back. I really like that moment. That's good character stuff. I like that. And Gojo pulls up dressed like Toji. I know everyone's going to have a field day with that. Everyone's going to be like, he looks exactly like Toji, but, like, literally, not just in the fact that he's wearing the muscle shirt, but also he has the same pants that Toji has. And I do like that moment, though. Everyone smack him on the back, and everyone being like, win, Gojo, win. And admittedly, this sounds like a bunch of different death flags. Like, I don't even blame y'all. Like, if Gojo ends up losing, I'll hold the L. Like, don't get me wrong. I am more than willing to be wrong and hold the L if Gojo loses. Because they do sound like that. Like, they really are giving them this, like, big final anime... Higuruma's here. Yo, I ain't even noticed that. Higuruma's here. Yo, Kashima, where are you, bro? Higuruma's here. I mean, what's he gonna do, though? Like, are cursed spirits bound by laws? But, like, I didn't even realize my boy Higuruma was here. But Kashima wasn't here. Kashima... I've seen people already, right? Because obviously these spoilers popped up on my feed. as early as this morning. So I saw it. And people are like, uh-oh, Kashimo's looking kind of fraud-esque. But Kashimo's not a fraud. I hope Kashimo's not a fraud. He's not here, but I'm assuming he's pulled up to the battlefield first. If anything, I can see Gojo, like, running up to Sukuna, and Sukuna's already being like, wait. Don't fight me yet. I'm fighting off this lightning man. And, like, they're fighting, hopefully. And we see there is no break next week. And they're really happy and all that. Hikaruma's here. I don't know why. That caught me so off guard, but my boy's here. And the final battle's coming up. No break next week, so we're going to get Gojo versus 20-finger, 10-shadow Sukuna. I hope we don't. I hope Kashimo versus Sukuna happens, because I swear, Gege, don't waste Kashimo like that. How are you going to waste literally the rawest character in all of JJK like that? Please don't waste him. But overall, even with my super mixed feelings, it's still peak. Like I can't even... Obviously, I'm not freaking and geeking like I was with 221. Nothing. I don't think... This is going to sound so weird. I know it's going to sound so weird to some of y'all. But, like, I don't think Gojo getting unboxed is ever... Like, 221 is going to exist in my memory as something that's just, like, nearly... It's not going to be on the same level. Nearly on the same level as Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. I know that's such a weird comparison to make, but it's nearly like that. Like, I was waiting for that. So, like, 221... I don't, unless something crazy happens, I don't think you're ever going to see me geeking like that. Like, over it. No. There's one other series, Four Nights, that could really get me geeking if one very specific thing happens. But the likelihood of that happening is zero. Like, maybe 0.11, 0.000000002. Like, that's how likely the thing that would get me freaking and geeking in 4 nights is likely to happen. That's how likely that is. So I don't think that's going to happen at all. So overall, still a W chapter. I am worried though, because of the pace Gege is moving. I'm not sure. JJK is going to end this year. Will it end satisfyingly? That's the real question. However, that's what I think. What did you guys think in the comment sections down below? Do you guys like chapter 222? Are you loving it, hating it, feeling all kinds of different ways about it like I am? How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure the notifications to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. It's for as low as $1 a month. Get links, exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much once again, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Bag Out the Pencil, writing off.